Next at 5, police make an arrest in the accidental shooting of a 12-year-old girl. We're live with why police have charged her brother.
And running out of time, are our elected officials any closer to reaching a deal to raise the debt ceiling?
More miles to the gallon, how a new federal plan will put money back in your pocket.
And it's back to business at Dolphins camp. Superstar Reggie Bush was there. You'll hear what he had to say. Good evening. I'm Cynthia Demas in for Shannon Horry.
And I'm Elliot Rodriguez. CBS 4 News at 5 and HD is starting right now.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
Right now at 5, brother charged why police arrested him in the accidental shooting of his 12-year-old sister. The little girl is still in the hospital.
And tonight we're learning more about how the girl's brother ended up shooting her. CBS 4's Peter Dench is at Jackson Memorial Hospital. Peter, first of all, how's she doing?
Well, Cynthia, the girl's condition right now has stabilized here in the hospital after being shot in the leg, and her mother, as we speak, is with her at bedside. Now, today we also got our first look at her brother. He came before a judge in bond court. Police say he told them he inadvertently shot his sister with a gun he had found in the bushes.
Mr. Harris, you're charged with carrying a concealed firearm. Do you have any money to hire a lawyer?
Not right now, sir.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender.
Miami police say 21-year-old Tyrone David Harris accidentally shot his sister, Bricka, in the leg. The 12-year-old girl is seen on the left in blue on the cell phone video. Video that reminds her friend, Ashley Leonard, of their happier times together.
She's nice. She's so sweet. She's sweet. She's always there for her friends.
Police say it happened around 6 last night at her home in Overtown. They say Bricka's brother was dropping her off. Suddenly, the gun went off.
He admitted to having found the handgun in some bushes. He then took the handgun and placed it in his backpack. He stated that while the witness was opening the door, he reached inside the backpack to retrieve his cell phone, and the handgun went off accidentally.
But Bricka's friend said she was traumatized and in pain.
We heard something that heard like a gunshot, and then we just looked, and then we saw her in the floor, and she had blood on her leg.
It was upsetting, too, for Harris. According to neighbors, they say he, too, was upset that his little sister had been wounded.
He was very concerned about his sister. He actually stayed and, watched them take her in the ambulance because I think he called for her, but everything was an accident.
Court, we learned that Harris has been arrested before under a different last name on charges of battery on a police officer, resisting arrest, and trespassing. Police say he has cooperated, and they have recovered the gun. Bricka could be staying here overnight. Her brother was given pretrial release, meaning he could be released sometime tonight. Police tell us he will not face any more charges, such as culpable negligence. Remains only charged with carrying a concealed weapon, which is a misdemeanor. We're live at Jackson Memorial Hospital. Peter Dench, CBS 4 News.
Peter, thanks so much for that live report from Jackson Hospital. And now a look at the tropics as Texas waits to welcome the rain the tropical storm Don will bring them. We're watching something far out in the central Atlantic. CBS 4 meteorologist Craig Setzer is here with the latest. Craig?
Elliot, good news here is that Don is making landfall tonight as a weak tropical storm. Winds only 50 miles an hour. That little strengthening period we saw yesterday, that was only short-lived, so it has maintained its weak tropical storm strength, moving to the northwest at 16 miles an hour, now 105 miles to the northeast of Brownsville, Texas. And the future track brings it on shore during the night tonight, and then during the day tomorrow, next 24 to 36 hours, dissipates over the Rio Grande of Texas and Mexico there, that valley. But it is going to bring a little bit of rainfall, so that's at least some good news. Tropical storm warnings remain in effect for parts of the Texas coast and inland areas there from south of Galveston down to the mouth of the Rio Grande near Brownsville. Here's the radar satellite loop, and you can see it coming ashore. Not a well-organized system. Most of the heavier thunderstorms have been on the south side. Most of the stronger winds have been on the north side. It is bringing rain, though, at this point, because it's so dry in Texas. Any rain is good news. So some of these outer bands here and areas of rain coming on shore there throughout southeast Texas. So good news there. In terms of Don, there is Don, a small tropical storm. Much of the rest of the Caribbean is rather quiet, but it's out in the central Atlantic, the deep tropical Atlantic. We're watching this low pressure area here. It has become a little bit better organized, so we will keep our eyes on it as it continues to move to the west there. Once again, we'll be looking for thunderstorms becoming more concentrated towards the center, and it's probably going to be a slow process. There's a lot of dry air to the north. There are computer models on this system, and this is why we're going to need to watch this system, because the computer models in a general direction bring it to the west-northwest toward this general area of the woods, which does include South Florida, of course, that time frame late next week. I'll have a more detailed look at this system, plus Don, plus our local forecast coming up in a bit.
All right, Craig, you were talking about Texas. Parts of Texas are not just bracing for Tropical Storm Don. They're happy to see it come. They're hoping rain from Don will help break the worst drought in decades. Look at that there. We'll have a live report from the Texas coast coming up at 5:30. For the latest on the tropics and the weather in your neighborhood 24 hours a day, log on to our website, cbsmiami.com.
But right now, we've got the latest on the debt debate. House Republican leaders say they have the votes to pass their bill tonight, but Democrats say it's headed for defeat in the Senate. CBS 4 Chief Consumer Investigator Al Sunshine has been following the developments. Al, what's going on?
Elliot, here's the bottom line. It's a rework of the House Speaker's original plan, and it's aimed at getting more support from Tea Party conservatives. Well, we'll see if it has enough support to pass the House, but even if it does, it may not do much at all to serve as a compromise that can get through the Senate. President Obama is telling lawmakers they're running out of time to solve the debt crisis.
The time for putting party first is over. The time for compromise on behalf of the American people is now.
For now, the holdup remains the House, where Speaker John Boehner is trying to get enough support to pass his plan to raise the debt limit and cut the deficit. He spent the day working on his second version, hoping to convince a majority of House Republicans to change their minds and support it. But its passage is still not a sure thing.
We're going to pass a second bill that will increase the debt ceiling, but that does not give a blank check to this administration, and that does not raise taxes on the American people that are already struggling.
It's just dramatically irresponsible, and it's hard to fathom why they are so willing to risk this chaos that is looming if we don't come to the table and compromise.
The Speaker's finding new Republican support because his new proposal calls for Congress to send a constitutional balanced budget amendment to the states for ratification. It would be tied to a second debt increase early next year. But Democrats say that's still a deal breaker. And in the Senate, Majority Leader Harry Reid wants a bipartisan deal.
We hold our arms out to my Republican colleagues to visit with me, talk to me how we can strengthen my legislation.
And the president again today asked voters to contact their lawmakers to resolve the impasse. Capitol Hill switchboards, they've been flooded with calls, but at this hour, there's still no sign of any compromise or any guarantees that the Speaker's new proposal will even have enough support to get out of the House. I'm Al Sunshine, CBS 4 News.
More jitters on Wall Street today as investors watch the debt debate. Stocks continued a week-long slide that erased nearly 540 points from the Dow Jones Industrial Average. At the closing bell, the Dow was down 96 points, closing the day at 12,143. The Nasdaq lost 9 points to finish at 2756. The S&P 500 down as well, 8 points, ending the week at 1292.
Well, not surprisingly, many of you have a lot to say about the debt debate in Washington. Walter McNulty wrote on Facebook, quote, "I am in complete agreement with House Speaker John Boehner. Spending cuts have to be made without penalizing those like the elderly who have been paying into Social Security all of their lives." Edward Oberle says this, "It's time for the Tea Party to resign." And from Rose Ambrosio, quote, "I believe the president and the government need to look at what is best for the American people and not what benefits their pockets," end quote. Now, if you have to weigh in, if you'd like to weigh in, that is, on the debt debate, join us on Facebook and Twitter, and check us out at cbsmiami.com. And our coverage of the debt debate doesn't end here. New at 6 o'clock, we're going to take a look at the fallout here in South Florida if the government goes into default.
A dangerous drive for a FedEx driver today when his vehicle collided with a car. Chopper 4 was over the scene at 64th Street and Northwest 82nd Avenue in Northwest Miami-Dade around 11 this morning. Look at it on the side there. The impact of the crash caused the FedEx truck to overturn right there and the vehicle then to slam into a tree. No word on any injuries. An awful scene in Broward County today. 2 people were killed when the motorcycle they were on flew off a highway ramp and slammed into the train tracks below. The deadly accident snarled tri-rail traffic around the Fort Lauderdale area all morning long. The crash happened below the off-ramp from southbound I-95 to westbound 595. Now, CBS 4's Joan Murray has more on this from Dania Beach.
This morning around 6:40, the CSX Railroad contacted the sheriff's office, referenced 2 bodies on the tracks.
It's a gruesome find on the railroad tracks just below the 595 westbound ramp. FHP says a man and a woman on a motorcycle flew off the highway, plunging to their deaths. Railroad workers spotted the bodies at dawn.
At this point, we're still investigating. We don't know what time the crash occurred. We have troopers up top on the exit ramp working on the scene up there to process it to see if there was possibly another vehicle involved. We don't have any witnesses that have come forward at this time.
All rail traffic, commuter and freight, had to be stopped for 2 hours.
Well, I had to take a bus here, and I was very inconvenienced. I had to be at work at 10 o'clock, and still waiting.
Passengers were bussed around the accident scene.
I was headed south to Miami. I started at the Fort Lauderdale station, but they diverted everyone who was displaced because of the accident up here or over here to Dania Beach, the airport, and then we'll go south from here. So.
FHP investigators spent the morning on that 595 ramp to try to figure out what happened, whether someone hit that motorcycle or that they just hit the wall. It will be a while before we know the exact cause of this accident. In Dania Beach, Joan Murray, CBS 4 News.
The U.S. Supreme Court has denied Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi's request to go ahead with the execution of a South Florida man on death row. Manuel Valle was supposed to be executed on Tuesday, but Florida Supreme Court justices ordered a stay until September while a court holds a hearing on the effectiveness of the state's lethal injection drugs. Valle was convicted of killing Coral Gables police officer Luis Pena back in 1978.
An AWOL soldier accused of plotting another attack at Fort Hood was defiant as he made his first court appearance. Private First Class Nazar Abdo refused to stand. He also yelled out the name of the man blamed for killing 13 people at the same Texas Army base 2 years ago as he left the courtroom. The 21-year-old was charged with possessing an illegal firearm. Authorities say weapons and bomb-making materials were stashed in a motel room near the main gate of the base. Abdo told authorities he planned to detonate explosives at a restaurant frequented by soldiers.
Well, some of the victims of last Friday's terror attacks were remembered during memorial services in Norway today. Mourners raised red roses to honor the 77 people who lost their lives. Police say confessed killer Anders Breivik was strikingly calm when they interrogated him for a second time today. Authorities say that Breivik opened fire at a camp and bombed the government headquarters building in Oslo. Prosecutors may press for more than murder charges, including crimes against humanity and terrorism.
Well, here we go. Back to school bargains. We're talking about it already.
That's right, because it's that time of year again. And later at 5, we're going to tell you where you can save money on school supplies this weekend.
Also ahead, scary moments at an air show. Home video captured this scene, but we're glad to report this crash has a happy ending. The story new at 5:30.
And changes are coming to one of the world's most popular over-the-counter pain relievers. What you need to know about it in 10 minutes.
I'm George Sedano live from Dolphins training camp in Davie. A veteran linebacker cut on day one. Find out who as CBS 4 News. We'll be right back.
During the Rooms to Go summer sale, get great buys on 5-piece bedrooms. Like this one with dresser, mirror, and complete queen sleigh bed in fresh white or Merlot finish, just $7.50. That's 5 pieces, $7.50. Now at the Rooms to Go summer sale.
Your favorite show is on, or the game, or there's an emergency, and you need to know. So you turn on your local TV, and it's gone. Right now, congressional action may threaten the local TV you rely on. Millions could lose access to free local news. Others could lose their HD unless Congress protects local TV. Tell Congress, protect local TV. Log on to thefutureoftv.org.
Tonight's primetime lineup is brought to you in HD by Toyota. Moving forward.
Every day, Hyundai passes countless tests. Now comes the real test. What drivers like you think. Uncensored.
I can't believe this is a Hyundai.
Your luxury at an affordable price. They have infinity on the run.
I think I'm going to trade in my truck for this.
Wow. This is a bad hombre right here.
I want this car.
But will we pass your test? Check out the Santa Fe and let us know what you think.
Save thousands. Hyundai's the best, so forget the rest. Santa Fe $249, Sonata $199. All Hyundais are on sale now.
Kendall Toyota and West Kendall Toyota want to give you $1,000. That's right. Get a new Corolla or Camry and we'll give you $1,000 back. And right now at Kendall Toyota or West Kendall Toyota, you can drive away in a new Camry with zero down, zero APR financing, or zero payments till 2012. And we have the biggest selection of new cars and trucks in all Florida. Right now, get a back-to-school gift certificate just for taking a test drive. Get $1,000 back at the capital of Toyota, Kendall Toyota and West Kendall Toyota.
During the Rooms to Go summer sale, get great buys on casual dining sets, like this stylish counter height set, 5 pieces, $4.75. Or this set with round travertine table, a low $3.50. Or this rattan set, only $2.99. Now at the Rooms to Go summer sale.
It's back to business for the Miami Dolphins.
The team today completed its first practice of training camp, and they had their new star attraction in attendance. CBS 4's George Sedano, our star attraction, is there too, live at Dolphins camp in Davie with more on the first day. Hey, George.
Hey, Elliot, how are you? Look, it's been great out here today. The fans are excited. Reggie Bush is in town, though there's bad news for one person here at Dolphins camp. Unfortunately, we have some breaking news where it looks like Dolphins linebacker Channing Crowder has been cut today, a move that caught many by surprise. Crowder practiced earlier today and was made even available to the media. That's some cold stuff right there. There was some better news in Davie, though, today, as the newly signed Reggie Bush was in camp today, though Bush isn't available to practice until August 4th due to the new collective bargaining agreement. The other big storyline, though, is, of course, the chemistry between Chad Henne and Brandon Marshall, along with some of the off-season issues that both have dealt with. Henne trying to keep his job and Brandon Marshall with some domestic issues. But with so much swirling on day one, the guys just felt like kids on the first day of school.
We're just excited to be back out here on the football field and be around the guys.
It's been a very long off season. You know, you've been away from your brothers for extended period of time, you know, something you're not used to.
It feels good for everybody to be back and us to be together and, you know, try to right this ship this year.
It's that time of year, you know, you smell the grass, it's hot out, so, you know, it's football season, and it's exciting, and it's just great to be back as a team.
Some more news, though, from Dolphins camp. They've added quarterback Matt Moore from Carolina, and they're still trying to explore options to add quarterback Kyle Orton from Denver. They're trying to seek a trade there still. We'll have more from Channing Crowder. We actually have some audio where he may have predicted his own demise coming up at 6, live from Davie at Dolphins training facility. I'm George Sedano, CBS 4 Sports.
Oh, terrible to see Channing Crowder go. He was one of the favorites.
And he was so vocal and gave great sound bites, too. So,
well,
all right.
Hopefully, George, we can get a quarterback, so we'll keep monitoring this situation. Thanks a lot, George.
Thanks, George.
Reporting from Dolphins training camp. And right now, a look at our weather, and the weekend is here. Craig Setzer, what's the forecast?
The forecast is looking pretty good as we go through the weekend in terms of the tropics. Quiet out there, nothing affecting us through the weekend. Let's talk about Don this afternoon, though. Don moving to the northwest. You can see some of the wind gusts here. Victoria, wind gusts to 36, 29 in Galveston, 24 in Corpus. The winds have been very light down along the south side of the Texas coast there. Brownsville hasn't been reporting any wind gusts, and actually the wind has been calm from time to time. Rainfall so far about 1/10 of an inch in Brownsville, 1/3 of an inch in Victoria. So far, the rainfall amount's not huge, but hopefully they will go up as this storm comes on shore. Not forecast to strengthen anymore. Still a 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm. 90 right now at MIA, 89 Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, 91 in Key West. Definitely summery out there on the stickiness scale. Feels like 98, an east-northeast wind at 11, gusting to 23. No rainfall. There's been hardly any rainfall, but we have seen the breeze anywhere from 32 miles an hour right now in Marathon. That was the gust. Kendall 28, Homestead 27, and Sunrise 23. East-northeast winds continue. That's going to be the only downside to this weekend. That strong onshore wind will keep the risk of rip currents high. So if you're heading to the beaches, watch out for that. Here's the water vapor loop, kind of a long loop here, and there's the moisture from Don moving to the west across the western Gulf. Here's this little dry area that has worked its way in, and that has shut off our rainfall. But we're going to moisten up in the next couple of days. So by Sunday, a slight chance for rain, and then the rain chances go up quite a bit more after that. That system out in the Atlantic that we were talking about earlier, here it is. This is this tropical low pressure area that has a medium potential for development there, medium on the scale. And one thing that may limit it is that there's a lot of dry air to the north. So this is going to, whole environment here is going to have to moisten up some. And it's also going to have to consolidate its thunderstorms over the next couple of days for it to continue to show signs of development. You can see it here, just a broad area of low pressure, a gentle swirl there as it moves off to the west out there in the open Atlantic. For us, the tropical breeze blowing today, that's going to continue for the next several days and then drop off. And once it does, we're going to get even hotter And we're also going to see a better chance for thunderstorms, mainly in the afternoon and evening hours. Our true view for tomorrow, Saturday, looking real nice. Look for plenty of sunshine, a beach breeze, temperatures in the low 90s for highs, looking like a great Saturday. On Sunday, much of the same, maybe not quite as much breeze, and a slightly better chance of a shower, otherwise a mix of sun and clouds. And then going into next week, pattern starts to change. Monday, our transition day, as some moisture comes our way, so we'll see a better chance for thunderstorms. And by Tuesday and Wednesday, that's when I think we'll see our best chance for mainly afternoon storms, but also hot weather returns. Your forecast for tonight looking pretty good. A coastal breeze, otherwise warm and humid, a low near 83. Very warm overnight lows. Tomorrow, summer sun, ocean breeze, and a high near 82. If you're boating, a little bit rough out there. East winds continue around 15, seas running 3 to 5 feet, a moderate chop on the bays. The rest of the weekend is looking great. I'm thinking it's the weekend already. Rest of the weekend is looking great. Highs in the low 90s, lows in the low 80s. Next week, though, hotter and a little bit stormier. Back to you.
Well, technically, we are into the weekend, right?
Sure, I consider it the weekend.
We think it's the weekend. Thank you, Craig.
Nice breeze out there, too, today.
Coming up, encouraging news for women with breast cancer.
The drug that could increase their chances of living longer.
Also ahead, only a Monte Carlo, the world's most expensive and exotic pileup. 5 cars, nearly $200,000 in total damage.
Whoa.
The story behind these pictures, new at 5:30, and this story after the break.
Ready, set, back to school. I'm Vanessa Borge. Coming up, I'll tell you how the city of Miami is helping these students get ready for the new school year.
Say no to drugs.
Plus, a judge sends a drug defendant off with a message, but not much else. Why people arrested for possession can simply walk out of court without ever having to post bond. All new at 6.
CBS 4 Weather Report is sponsored by Bears. Designer furniture at the lowest prices guaranteed. Classic to contemporary. Go to Bears.com now and you'll see at Bears, there's a difference.
Summer Super Saver Days at Raymond BMW Miami. Lease a new 528i sedan, just $497 a month. $497 a month. Nowhere else but Raymond BMW Miami. Or click RaymondMotorsBMW.com.
CBS Sunday.
I'm Kathy Griffin.
They're switching lives.
You're going to do a stand-up comedy set in Hollywood, California.
This is the Kathy Griffin you got to deal with tonight.
Making new friends.
Kathy is very into gays. I struggle with that.
Taking on new roles.
You got this.
This is your job.
I didn't know it was the turn of the century, and the women's movement never happened.
New careers.
The future is here, and her name is Fiberglass.
And making big changes.
I learned to appreciate the differences in people.
A new same name, CBS Sunday.
This is Ellen. Ellen has a big family, a really big family. And Ellen needs to save just as big on their groceries. So she starts at Publix.com/save. In one spot, Ellen sees thousands of items on sale. She prints a list and coupons too. And when Ellen comes home from Publix, she has a lot of money left over. For a little while anyway. Start at Publix.com/save to maximize your savings. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
The sights of summer. Don't blink. They go fast. Summer's best event from Cadillac. This summer, you do have a choice, and the time is now. Visit your Cadillac dealer for these attractive offers.
Next, Entertainment Tonight. We're counting down Hollywood's top 10 breakups. J-Lo, Mark Anthony, and the man in the middle.
I don't like breaking up families.
Shocking star splits. Next, E.T.
Tonight at 7 on CBS 4.
Summer Super Saver Days at Raymond BMW Miami. Over 800 new BMWs in stock, online and on sale. 800 BMWs. Nowhere else but Raymond BMW Miami. Or click RaymondMotorsBMW.com.
On the Health Watch tonight, Johnson & Johnson is lowering the recommended maximum daily dose of extra-strength Tylenol. Bottles sold in the U.S. will now list the maximum daily dose as 6 pills or 3,000 milligrams. That number is down from 8 pills or 4,000 milligrams per day. The drug company made the move to lower the chances of an accidental overdose.
A new study is likely to fuel a long-running controversy over the merits of mammograms. The study concluded that falling breast cancer death rates have little to do with breast screenings, but come down to better treatment and health systems. Researchers analyzed data from 3 pairs of countries in Europe. They found that although breast cancer screening programs had been introduced 10 to 15 years earlier in some areas and not in others, declines in death rates were similar. And here's some encouraging news for breast cancer patients. A new study finds women with the most common type of breast cancer who take the drug tamoxifen for 5 years increase their chances of survival. Researchers followed more than 20,000 patients with early breast cancer and found women on the drug improved their 15-year survival rate by 1/3.
Well, it's not too early to start thinking about heading back to school and finding those back-to-school bargains. We're going to help you out as soon as school approaches. We're going to have you all set up. So beginning Sunday at Office Depot, get a free backpack and lunch tote valued at $20 when you spend only $15 on school supplies. That's a pretty good deal. The retailer's also offering penny specials each week until school starts. Beginning Sunday, get 5-cent folders, pencil pouches, and protractors. And Florida's sales tax holiday weekend is just 2 weeks away. Starting Friday, August 12th, pay no tax on school supplies selling for $15 or less, and on clothes, shoes, and certain accessories selling for $75 or less. Here's one more date to remember. Public schools start Monday, August 22nd in Miami-Dade, Broward, and Monroe counties.
I'm sure the kids can't wait, right? Well, the city of Miami gave away hundreds of school supplies and backpacks today to get students excited about the return to the classroom. CBS 4's Vanessa Borge got in on all the celebrating.
I got a feeling. It was definitely a good day for the over 800 City of Miami students who received free book bags and supplies today.
And I got erasers and color pencils and pencils.
City officials are making sure their school year is starting off with a home run and a grand slam of a future.
Education is the best procurer of any kind of job.
August 22nd is the first official day of the new school year in Miami-Dade, but thanks to all these sponsors, the students are prepared today, even if they're not ready to get back to work.
I can take notes when I go to school.
And you're excited to take notes, do homework, get ready back for school?
Not homework.
Definitely not homework, right?
Mayor Tomas Regalado, city and county commissioners, and City of Miami employees made sure the children most in need in the community went home stress-free.
Well, this is about giving kids the tools necessary that they can compete. And some of the kids coming from the less, more challenged need a little more help to be competitive in schools.
City of Miami Fire Rescue, Police Department, SWAT Team, Bomb Squad, and mounting departments came by to give demonstrations to all the kids at the event today, too.
They toured ambulances, got a feel for life in law enforcement, and there should always be a bit of time for hula hooping.
I'm going to leave you with this one thought, kids. You may only be 20% of the population of the city of Miami, but you are 100% of our future.
And now that they're ready, set, and heading back to school, these students' futures are as bright as Bernie. Vanessa Borge, CBS 4 News.
Mark Sarnoff giving a lesson in percentages.
There you go, 100% of our future.
Why not?
Nothing like a little hula hooping, too, to get you in the mood for school, don't you think?
To the good music, too. Hey, in our next half hour of news, waiting for dawn.
CBS 4 News will be in Corpus Christi, Texas, as they get ready for a close encounter with the tropical storm.
Also ahead, the defense rests, but not before the judge in a deadly school stabbing trial deals a blow to the defendant's case.
Coming up as well, saving at the pump, the federal proposal that's designed to put money back in all of our pockets. Plus this story.
I'm CBS 4's George Estevez, and this week's Good For You could go to you. Find out how clipping coupons this weekend can help keep these kids out of trouble.
Lauderdale BMW, a Holman family-owned dealership. Featuring a new BMW 328i for $329 per month. Lauderdale BMW, Fort Lauderdale and Pembroke Pines.
We're KFC with a 7-piece double mashed value meal, now just $9.99. 7 freshly made drumsticks and thighs, 2 large mashed potatoes, and 3 biscuits. KFC's 7-piece value meal, just $9.99 for a limited time. We're KFC, and today tastes so good.
When it comes to energy consumption, we're all different. That's why the FPL Online Home Energy Survey was designed with you in mind. Energy powers our lives in so many different ways, whether we use it a little or a lot. The FPL Online Home Energy Survey helps you find ways to save money with a personalized plan that provides energy-saving tips and recommendations for FPL programs and incentives, all based on your unique patterns of energy use. Visit FPL.com, my plan, and take the survey today.
It's all new with a 5-star frontal crash rating.
5 stars means safe.
5-star protection.
Side
Crash rating. 5-star side.
Size 2, 3, 4, 5-star crash.
Side crash rating. Side only.
Lots of cars get 5 stars in one category, but not in every combined category. The one, the Accord sedan. For great leases and low financing, visit your Honda dealer today.
It's Party City's annual 50-cent clearance event. Countless fun items on clearance, 50 cents each. Gift wrap, gift bags, favors, balloons, and decorations for all kinds of parties. Get to Party City today. The annual 50-cent clearance event won't last long. And don't forget the $5 costume clearance for a limited time only. Party City. Nobody has more party for less.
Lauderdale BMW, a Holman family-owned dealership. Featuring a new 2011 BMW 528i for $499 per month. Lauderdale BMW, Fort Lauderdale and Pembroke Pines.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
Now at 5:30, a blow to the defense today in the murder trial of this former high school student charged with a campus killing. Good evening, I'm Cynthia Demas. Shannon Horry's off tonight.
And I'm Elliot Rodriguez. The judge in the case disallowed testimony that could have helped bolster the defendant's self-defense argument. CBS 4's Gary Nelson was in the courtroom, has the latest for us today.
Well, the defense today wanted jurors to hear from former classmates who make the alleged victim in this case out to be a bully. That did not happen. Instead, the last person this jury heard from was someone very close to the accused killer. The woman grabbing her head and clutching her heart is the grandmother of this accused high school campus killer, Andy Rodriguez. The last witness this jury heard described Rodriguez's reaction when she told him the boy he stabbed at school was dead.
And he said that he had disgraced himself and that he had no future in front of him. And he started crying.
She wept. Her grandson wept. He's accused of stabbing classmate Juan Carlos Rivera to death at Coral Gables High School, an incident captured partially on school security tape. With the jury out of the room today, the defense called former student Ron Rosa.
Mr. Rosa, did he approach you in a threatening manner?
Yes. Rosa testified the alleged victim, Rivera, was a swaggering bully who had spat at him, made threatening gestures, tried to pick fights. And the defense recalled the defendant's girlfriend. She testified she stopped giving Rivera rides to school because of his unseemly behavior.
I spoke to Juan Carlos and I told him that he had just arrived at the school. That instead of making friends, he was making enemies.
But the judge did not let jurors hear her testimony or that of this student, saying it did not go to Rodriguez's state of mind at the time of the alleged crime. The state's theory is Rodriguez killed Rivera in a jealous rage over the girlfriend, Aimilcis Salgado. Rodriguez claims self-defense. Indeed, witnesses in this trial have agreed that it was the guy who got stabbed, Rivera, who threw the first punch in this schoolyard fight. Rodriguez responded admittedly with a knife, but he claims he was in a strangling chokehold and feared that he would be strangled to death if he didn't do something drastic to fend off the attack. Closing arguments set for Monday. We're live in Miami. Gary Nelson, CBS 4 News.
All right, we'll see what happens when it goes to the jury. Thanks for that, Gary. The CBS 4 storm team is tracking the tropics tonight. Tropical storm Don is zeroing in on the Texas coast, and there's now something else that bears a little watching in the central Atlantic. CBS 4 meteorologist Craig Setzer is in for Chief Meteorologist David Bernard. Craig, what is the latest?
Yeah, it's getting kind of busy out there. We're only in July, and you don't want to have a bunch of things going on, but that's the way the atmosphere is acting this summer so far. We're watching Tropical Storm Don just about to to make landfall here this evening or overnight tonight, only 105 miles to the northeast of Brownsville, now moving northwest at 16. 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm, so not that strong. That's good news. We're to the D storm, and we've basically just had weak to moderate tropical storms, so good news there. Here is the satellite and radar, and you can see that it's kind of a lopsided storm. Most of the heavier weather is on the south side, but the winds haven't been that strong on the south side. On the north side, that's where we're seeing the stronger winds, some pretty strong wind gusts, and it's forecast once again to come on shore later tonight and then during the day tomorrow, rain itself out over South Texas. In terms of rainfall elsewhere, it is spraying some rain up to the north, so that's good news. In fact, there's a severe drought going on throughout much of the deep south, so any rain that these folks get is good news. Here's a bit broader perspective. There is Don. It's quiet in the Gulf. There are some thunderstorms scattered but not organized in the Caribbean. The system we are watching is way out here in the deep tropical Atlantic. This area right here, it's a low pressure area with an associated tropical wave. There are lots of thunderstorms scattered around. They're not organized or consolidated yet. That's probably going to be a slow trend, so we've got plenty of time to watch this, and development should be slow over the next several days if it occurs at all. There's a lot of dry air to the north. The computer models are being run on it, though. It's located here, and a lot of the computer models pretty much go in a west-northwest motion over the next 5 to 7 days. Now, there's a lot of intensity spread. Some of the models are saying it's going to become just a weak wave. Some are saying it's going to be a little bit stronger. Some are even saying it may be a tropical storm or something like that. Too early to tell. It's too early to tell if it's even going to survive, but as you can see, it's coming in our general direction, so we'll need to keep our eyes on this one. Have more on that coming up in just a bit.
Greg, thanks a lot. Texas is getting ready for Tropical Storm Don. Vacationers and coastal residents are not happy that officials have already closed some beaches and camping areas south of Corpus Christi. But most people across the bone-dry state are welcoming the rain that the storm will bring their way. CBS 4's Manuel Gallegos has more from Texas.
Well, it's starting to get a little gloomy here in Corpus Christi from the approaching storm, but no rain yet. The worst of the wind and the rain will be late tonight into tomorrow morning, and much of it to the south of us here in Corpus Christi toward Brownsville and below. But in the meantime, take a look at the beach. People here are enjoying themselves, just trying to hold on to this day as long as they can. Clouds and a tropical storm are not what the Kirby family had in mind for their vacation.
We had plenty of sunshine, pretty weather. The boys could play and have some fun. Yeah. The storm says get out of Corpus, go back the other direction.
Tropical Storm Don is expected to drop anywhere from 1 to 4 inches of rain across southern Texas, with wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. That's far weaker than a hurricane, so locals and most tourists have no plans to evacuate. What are people saying?
Just that it's nothing to be worried about, and
just looking forward to the rain that we need anyway. So
any rain will be welcome in drought-stricken Texas. The nation's second largest food-producing state has been struggling to keep its crops healthy and alive. Texas is dry. The soil feels more like sand. About 70% of the state's pastures and rangeland are classified in very poor condition. At the Prukop family farm, thousands of acres desperately need rain.
It's been pretty tough on us, you know. We hope to make ends meet this year.
But the timing of this storm is potentially devastating for the cotton, which could be ruined by too much wind and water. They're now harvesting as much of their drought-damaged crop as they can before the storm. Once the cotton is gone, James Prukop is hoping for a rainy summer and fall. But that's not what they want at the beach. By the way, most of the oil companies operating in the Gulf, including BP, do not consider this tropical storm a real threat, although some of them did evacuate their employees early on as a precaution. From Corpus Christi, I'm Manuel Gallegos, CBS 4 News.
Thanks, Manuel. And for the latest on the tropics and the weather in your neighborhood, 24 hours a day, just log on to our website, cbsmiami.com.
A Lauderdale Lakes man is in the hospital after he was pulled from a burning apartment this morning. It happened at the Hawaiian Gardens condos on the 5000 block of West Oakland Park Boulevard. Residents reported a fire in one of the units. When firefighters arrived, they had to put the man on a backboard to rescue him. You can see it right there. He was taken to a hospital for treatment. The cause of the fire is under investigation.
Well, the weekend may be here, but that's not stopping officials in Broward County from battling mosquitoes. Mosquito control will spray for the pesky insects in the southwest part of the county tomorrow morning. Now, the aerial spraying will take place between 4 and 6:30 a.m. Again, between 4 and 6:30 in the morning, and the area will include southwest ranches and western portions of Miramar and Pembroke Pines. In Miami-Dade County, a new weapon is being used to take a bite out of mosquitoes. tornadoes earlier this week. The Air Force Reserve launched this specially equipped C-130 cargo plane to spray parts of western Miami-Dade County. It's dropping the chemical Dibrom. Military officials say it's not hazardous to your health or to the health of your pets.
This week's Good For You goes to anyone who wants to clip coupons and save money. It's true. This weekend, your local newspaper will give you a chance to not only save money on some of your favorite products, but also give you a chance to keep a child from getting into trouble. CBS 4's George Estevez shows you how it works.
Check. They may not know it now, but playtime for these kids means so much more.
Yeah! It's better than staying home. Oh, no.
Sure, it's entertaining, but for Simone Green, the other kids in this program have become her family.
They're really nice to me. I have a lot of friends.
And her friends are busy using their minds as part of the communities and schools after school and summer programs.
And it's not a lot of things to do at home, because once you did all of them, you get bored of doing them again and again and again and again.
But at this center in Liberty City in Miami, hundreds gather to develop skills that will help them break the cycle.
There is a lot of gang violence. There are drive-bys. It's not necessarily the most safe neighborhood.
But inside these walls, these kids are safe, but that costs up to $1,000 a year per kid. The program's main focus is to teach them the importance of staying in school and reducing the dropout rate.
We believe that it is the biggest crisis in America, and we are all paying the price for every student that we lose.
In fact, it costs a community $260,000 for each student who doesn't graduate in future lost tax revenue and potential earnings. And while they may not know it now, but these kids need this kind of support, because without it, it would be different.
Boring and lonely and really sad.
So how do you help? Look for the Procter & Gamble Brand Saver. That's in this weekend's newspaper. And for every coupon you clip and use, communities and schools here in South Florida and around the country will get 2 cents to help out the kids. In Miami, George Estevez, CBS 4 News.
All right, coming up, you have to stick around for a really cute animal story. 3
of the newest residents of the Palm Beach Zoo were shown to the public today for the first time, and they are adorable.
We love adorable animals.
Yeah.
All right. Also ahead, the crash of the Air France flight 447 months ago, how some of the mystery behind the tragic crash that killed 200 people could be solved.
Plus, lucky landing. I wonder how much the turnpike toll is for a hot air balloon.
And if you're still thinking about what to do this weekend, we're going to give you some ideas and make it easy for you to make up your mind.
What does the debt crisis mean for you and I, borrowing money and your 401k? I'm Joan Murray. That story is coming up.
There's a new deal at Mardi Gras Casino. Blackjack. Mardi Gras Casino now features 12 brand new classic blackjack tables with live dealers. And with exciting side bets available, Blackjack at Mardi Gras Casino is a guaranteed winner. Mardi Gras Casino, located on the corner of East Pembroke Road and US 1.
Next Insider, the summer's biggest scandals. Then, exclusive, behind the scenes as Ice-T and Coco renew their vows. And Harrison Ford's backstory. Next Insider.
Tonight at 7:30 on CBS 4.
An exclusive automatic locking rear differential, and a 5.3-liter V8. Introducing the 2011 GMC Sierra Z60 with chrome. Lots and lots of chrome. It's our best-looking Sierra ever. Now during the GMC summer event, get 0% financing for 60 months when you purchase any 2011 Sierra. Plus, make no payments for 90 days. See your local GMC dealer.
It's time to go back to school with BrandsMart USA. Get a 19-inch HD LED LCD for $119.88. A 32-inch HD LCD is $229.88. A 40-inch HD LCD with 1080p is $329.88. Samsung 40-inch HD LED LCD with 1080p is $549.88. A Panasonic 50-inch HD Plasma with 1080p is $599.88. And Toshiba's 55-inch HD LCD with 120 Hz and 1080p is $799.88. BrandsMart USA, of course, your favorite brands at low, low prices.
Imagine a Miami with safe bike paths and walkways, with access to locally grown farm-fresh food, with neighborhood and school gardens in every community. Imagine what we can do together. Make healthy happen, Miami. Visit MakeHealthyHappenMiami.com. This message brought to you by the Consortium for a Healthier Miami-Dade, the Miami-Dade County Health Department, and the Department of Health and Human Services.
So where's the best place to be this summer? I'm going to say leading the way with Ford. It's only the best-selling brand in America. When you're cruising around town in a Ford Fusion, you're cruising in style. And on the highway, you're getting 33 miles per gallon. Plus, Ford Fusion was ranked the most dependable among midsize cars by J.D. Power and Associates. So when's the best time to get a great deal? That'd be right now.
Now, during the Ford Best Place to Be sales event, get a Fusion for $199 per month for 24 months.
The Ford Best Place to Be sales event. It's a great place to be.
Kendall Toyota and West Kendall Toyota want to give you $1,000. That's right. Get a new Corolla or Camry and we'll give you $1,000 back. And right now at Kendall Toyota or West Kendall Toyota, you can drive away in a new Camry with zero down, zero APR financing, or zero payments till 2012. And we have the biggest selection of new cars and trucks in all Florida. Right now, get a back-to-school gift certificate just for taking a test drive. Get $1,000 back at the capital of Toyota. Kendall Toyota and West Kendall Toyota.
5 dice, 3 rolls, big cash prizes. Earn entries today to play Mardi Gras at Mardi Gras Casino in Hallandale Beach. Teams of 3 lucky players roll the dice every Sunday in July at 6, 7, 8, and 9 p.m. Mardi Gras at Mardi Gras Casino in Hallandale Beach, where it's always a party.
A former astronaut who was accused of assaulting a romantic rival has now been kicked out of the Navy. Lisa Nowak will retire with an other-than-honorable discharge. Back in 2007, Nowak drove from Houston to Orlando and confronted her rival in an airport parking lot. She pled guilty and was dismissed from the Astronauts Corps. Navy officials say Nowak's conduct, quote, fell well short of what is expected of Navy officers. Her retirement takes effect September 1st.
Well, some of the mystery behind a tragic jetliner crash in 2009 may be solved. None of the 228 people on Air France Flight 447 from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil to Paris survived when it plummeted into the Atlantic. New findings released by French investigators indicate the pilots were not trained to handle the situation. The jet stalled, stall warnings sounded, but the crew made no reference to it in cockpit recordings. The report also determined the pilots never told passengers that anything was going wrong before the crash. French investigators are now recommending mandatory training for all pilots to help them fly planes manually and handle this type of emergency.
Home video captured an air show crash in Wisconsin. Look at this. You can see the F-16 here skids off the runway into the dirt. The plane eventually stopped with its nose in the dirt. The pilot managed to get out and run away from the jet. No word yet on what caused this crash. And check out this landing of a hot air balloon on the Massachusetts Turnpike. Wow, the strong wind made it impossible for the pilot and 6 passengers to land in the field where they were supposed to. So they thought, hey, this is the next best thing. The passengers say they actually waved at the drivers as they flew above the road.
Well, it's clearing up to be another fun-filled weekend in South Florida. Whether you prefer spending Saturday and Sunday indoors or out because of the heat, CBS 4's Vanessa Borge has some ideas to help you get ready for the weekend.
Oh my Smurf. They're blue and they're back. A new twist on the classic Smurfs cartoon. When the evil wizard Gargamel chases the Smurfs out of their village, they tumble from their magical world and into ours. Katy Perry and Hank Azaria lend their voices to the tiny blue characters. The Smurfs hit the box office today. It's rated PG.
What do you want to do with me?
I want to show you off to my ex-wife to make her really jealous.
Also opening this weekend, Steve Carell and Julianne Moore star in Crazy Stupid Love. Their marriage falls apart, so Carell's character has to navigate the single scene with a little professional help from Ryan Gosling. Make that a lot of help. Crazy Stupid Love is rated PG-13. The dog days of summer are here, and they're coming to the village of Merrick Park this Sunday. From 2 to 6 p.m., you and Fido can parade around the plaza. Your furry friend will have chances to win prizes for best attire and best personality. The Doggy Day is all sponsored by the Humane Society of Greater Miami, which will also be holding an adopt-a-thon. Need a way to entertain the kids and not break the bank? How about for free? Bird Bowl is offering 2 free games of bowling to every child that registers beforehand. The Kids Bowl Free program is going on all summer long. You just sign up online and head to the alley.
And when you're done enjoying your weekend, plan on a delicious dinner come Monday. Starting August 1st, it's time to get your fill of the best cuisine Miami has to offer. Miami Spice kicks off on Monday. You'll get mouth-watering meals for a fraction of the price at the Magic City's finest dining. Miami Spice runs until September 30th, so you'll have plenty of time to indulge.
If you have any ideas for weekend events, you can always send me an email to vborge@cbs.com. And for a complete list of all the things to do this weekend, you can go to our website, cbsmiami.com. Vanessa Borge, CBS 4 News.
All right.
A lot to do.
A lot to do. Indoor, outdoor this weekend. What's your preference?
A little bit of both, but you know what? It hasn't been as hot, right, as it was a few days ago.
Coming out of your mouth.
What, me complain about the weather?
Oh, Elliot never complains about the heat.
He has a regular biking route now.
That's right, I do. I was out there biking. It was nice.
Yeah, there's hope for everybody. Let's show you what we've seen so far today. As Elliot said, not too hot, about average for this time of year. Highs in the low 90s, lows in the low 80s. The exception has been the overnight lows have been kind of on the warm side thanks to that east breeze, but dry, pretty nice today, and we'll see a repeat of this tomorrow. Here's what's going on temperature-wise right now through Plantation, Sunrise, Coral Springs, and Hialeah Gardens. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. It feels like temperatures in the mid to upper 90s. So despite it not being that hot, it's definitely humid out there, and that's helping to make it feel a lot hotter. Feels like temperatures elsewhere ranging from about 96 to 102. A very warm and steamy evening out there, going to be the case throughout much of the weekend. Winds continue out of the east anywhere from 9 to 14 miles an hour. That's helping to take some of the edge off the heat. It's also helping to spread out the heat so that western suburbs not too terribly hot. The beach not too terribly not so hot. It's just about right in terms of temperatures across South Florida. And once again tomorrow going to be a repeat of that. We'll see summer sun. The ocean breeze continues. Highs will be in the low 90s and maybe a little bit better at the beach temperatures. The surf temperatures at 86. So a little bit of a cooling effect going on there. A trip around the country this evening, and it remains hot through the south. Once again Dallas 100 or above today, but the heat has once again spread its way into the mid-Atlantic and into the northeast. 92 right now in Atlanta. 103 in Raleigh. That is very hot. And look at D.C. right now, 103 in the nation's capital, 96 in Philadelphia. Here's a cold front and pretty stormy in New England right now. Behind that front, temperatures in the 70s and 80s, so not so bad there. The front separating heat from not as hot to the north, 95 right now in Cincinnati, 94 in St. Louis, 101 in Oklahoma City. Temperatures 80s and 90s for the northern plains. Finally, back in the west, really the only cool spot, or comfortably cool, the Pacific Northwest, where temperatures are in the 70s, 70s along the California coast. 105 in Vegas and 107 right now in Phoenix. Here's your forecast for tonight. Warm and humid, a coastal breeze with a low temperature near 83. For tomorrow, look for a good deal of sunshine. Almost a repeat, a carbon copy of what we saw today. Ocean breeze continues a high near 93. The only downside is that if you're going to be in the ocean, the risk of rip currents is going to remain high for tomorrow. Allergy count showing that everything is low. Grasses and nettle, the worst offenders. Taking us through the weekend, highs stay in the low 90s, overnight lows in the low 80s, and the beach breeze continues. We'll see temperatures staying on the warm side into next week, where they actually start to warm up a bit. Our pattern changes, so a better chance for some thunderstorms, especially Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then you can complain more about the heat. Elliot?
Okay, Greg, thanks a lot. No complaining from me. That's my decision. All right. Get ready to see Prince Harry like you've never seen him before. He's being turned into a comic book. The creators of the comic say the book is a biography and will tell his story growing up with his mother, Princess Diana, and his father, Prince Charles. Dubbed the Wild Child by British tabloids, the comic is said to tell the part of his party life and his military experience. And if you're throwing a party, he's the guy you want there, right?
He's
life of the party.
Seems like a lot of fun to me.
Crazy guy.
Yeah, that's his reputation. Hey, next at 5:30, saving you money at the pump.
President Barack Obama and top auto executives say they have a plan that will impact drivers and businesses that depend on gasoline. The story after the break.
And forget the controversy over them. Red light cameras are making headlines for catching this incredible crash. Wow, what happened to everyone involved? New at 6.
Why pay $156 for this outfit at a department store when at Ross for less than $53 you can get the exact same one? So you can also get this outfit and this one and still have almost $20 left over. Ross, unbeatable.
Hyundai has 4 cars that get 40 miles per gallon. What better place to get uncensored reactions than a gas station?
40 miles to the gallon. That's a good deal.
The gas prices the way they are, it's awesome.
They're really good-looking cars, too.
You can't change gas prices, but you can change to the 40 mile per gallon Elantra. It comes with a trade-in value guarantee.
Save thousands on thousands of Hyundais on sale now. Hyundai's the best, so forget the rest. Hurry in for Hyundai, the hottest selling cars in America, now on sale.
Excuse me. We'd like some expert advice about radio-controlled cars. Can you help us?
Oh, well, I don't like to brag, but
No, not you.
Him.
The Hobby Superstore not only has the hottest selection of RC cars, boats, and planes, but they also have the experts that know how to fly them and fix them. Gas or electric powered, inside or out, Hobby Superstore RC experts are here to help.
Amateurs.
Come on into the Hobby Superstore for some expert RC fun.
There are 17,000 car dealers in America, but there's only one number one. Marooney! And our huge summer clearance is going on now. At Marooney Chevrolet, we're not discounting Chevy Silverados to $15,500 because we want to. We're discounting Chevy Silverados to $15,500 because we have to. Marooney Chevrolet has 6 locations. This is the one and only, gotta be there, don't miss it, Marooney Summer Clearance. For locations, Marooney.com.
I'm a real estate agent, and I definitely see signs of turnaround.
What would new taxes on oil and natural gas mean to you?
Raising taxes on businesses doesn't seem sensible at all. I mean, we want ideas that support the economy. When we're trying to come up with solutions that create jobs, create opportunity, to reverse the situation, the economic downturn that we have. You know, I am not an economic expert, but it seems to me that taxing the energy industry would send us back into recession.
Next, Entertainment Tonight. We're counting down Hollywood's top 10 breakups. J-Lo, Mark Anthony, and the man in the middle.
I don't like breaking up families.
Shocking star splits. Next, E.T.
Tonight at 7 on CBS 4.
You'll be bowled over to learn that for what you'd pay for this outfit at a department store, you can get the same one at Ross for way less, which means you'd save enough to buy an outfit for this bowler, and this bowler, and even this one. Ross, unbeatable.
On the Money Watch tonight, President Barack Obama wants your car to get better gas mileage. Today, he announced a proposal to set fuel economy standards for new cars and trucks sold in the United States and help you save on gas. CBS 4 Chief Consumer Investigator Al Sunshine has details on the plan.
When gas prices go up, Chuck Carr's landscaping business loses money. He's hoping the new fuel efficiency standards will trim his overhead.
I would love to see it, particularly if it gets into service vehicles, pickup trucks, and things like that, because those have always been underperformers.
The new standards will double the mileage of what vehicles get today. Automakers agreed to manufacture cars which get almost 55 miles per gallon by 2025. Light trucks will be phased in a little slower.
It will save a typical family more than $8,000 in fuel costs over time.
It's the biggest reduction in fuel consumption since the 1970s and should cut auto emissions by 40%.
I think ultimately striving toward that kind of goal is good for everybody.
If it helps us save money, that's great, but I think that ultimately it's up to the consumers.
Chuck Carr didn't wait for the government to help. He launched a lawn service that's already green, using Priuses and battery-powered mowers.
The gas savings alone is 50% or more.
And it'll save even more when the new fuel rules go into effect. And it turns out the new rules are a compromise between the president and automakers who were unhappy about the cost of building those fuel-efficient vehicles. On the Money Watch, I'm Al Sunshine, CBS 4 News.
Now to the world's most expensive and exotic pileup. A driver in Monte Carlo single-handedly caused a $1.1 million 5-car crash. A female driver slammed her Bentley into a Mercedes-Benz, a Ferrari, an Aston Martin, and a Porsche. The driver and her passengers then became trapped in their cars as tourists gathered to take pictures. Most of the cars needed new bumpers or front wings. The estimated repair bill was more than $150,000. I bet it was. Traffic was stopped in both directions on a highway in China to ensure a smooth passing for herds of Tibetan antelopes. It's migration season for the animals. Each herd of antelopes had a leader to ensure the safety of the group. The leading antelope probed its way by slowly moving across the road, making it easier for the following antelopes to cross. See how they work together so nicely?
They were moving along right away there. Now, 3 tiger cubs are making their public debut at the Palm Beach Zoo. They were born back in May and now weigh about 15 pounds each. The 3 males are just the second litter of Malayan tigers ever to be born in the United States. The zoo expects to keep them in Palm Beach for several years, but says the cubs may ultimately be sent to other zoos for mating.
That's it for CBS 4 News at 5:30.
Here's Antonio Mora with what's next at 6.
Thanks, Elliot and Cynthia. All new at 6 o'clock. The CBS 4 storm team will have the latest on Tropical Storm Dawn and on something else that's worth watching in the tropics. Illegal law, the federal court ruling that has bond court judges in Florida releasing drug defendants without bail. Charges filed. The school bus driver and aide get a legal lesson for allegedly forgetting a special needs child for hours. Debt debate. Will the country default? What should you do with your personal finances? CBS 4 News talks to local experts to get you answers. And the royal wedding you aren't wake up early for is tonight something extra. Next.
Summer Super Saver Days at Brayman Cadillac Miami. Lease a new CTS sedan, just $299 a month. $299 a month. Nowhere else but Brayman Cadillac Miami, or click BraymanCadillac.com.
Next Insider, the summer's biggest scandals. Then, exclusive, behind the scenes as Ice-T and Coco renew their vows. And Harrison Ford's backstory. Next Insider.
Tonight at 7:30 on CBS 4.
We're KFC, cooking up great meals for you, like our 7-piece double mashed value meal, now just $9.99. 7 of the Colonel's classic drumsticks and thighs, 2 large mashed potatoes with gravy, and 3 biscuits, freshly prepared by a cook in every KFC kitchen. Choose one of our famous recipes, original, extra crispy, Kentucky grilled, or mix all 3. The 7-piece double mashed value meal, just $9.99 for a limited time. Every day's a KFC day, and today tastes so good.
Are you spending more time wondering how you can spend less money? Wouldn't you rather shop where you want and save while you're at it? At Publix, you can. We have thousands of name brand items on sale every day. And our trusted brand products will save you quite a lot. After all, the goal is spending less, not getting less. Love to shop here, love to save here. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
I'm a home in a high-risk flood area. It doesn't look risky. I mean, Phil, does this look risky to you? Nancy? Fred? No. Well, it is. In a high-risk area, there's a 1 in 4 chance homes like us will flood. I'm glad I got flood insurance. Fred, you should look into it. I'm a risk taker.
Only flood insurance covers floods. Visit floodsmart.gov/myrisk to learn your risk.
Summer Super Saver Days at Brayman Cadillac Miami. Lease a new 2011 Escalade for just $599 a month. $599 a month. Nowhere else but Brayman Cadillac Miami, or click BraymanCadillac.com.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
The state's objection is duly noted.
Thank you very much.
All right, say no to drugs.
Right now at 6, that is playing out in courts across the state. Judges letting defendants charged with drug possession simply walk out of jail. Good evening. You're watching CBS 4 News at 6 in HD. I'm Antonio Mora. It turns out some judges believe they have no choice after a federal court deemed the state's drug possession law violates the U.S. Constitution. CBS 4 I-Team investigator Stephen Stock explains why.
The line of people being released from local jails around the state on their own recognizance threatens to become a flood as state judges grapple with a federal court ruling that Florida's current drug possession law is unconstitutional. This order from U.S. District Judge Mary Scriven in Orlando revolves around criminal intent. In 2002, Florida lawmakers removed the intent requirement in state law used to charge people with drug possession.
We're pleased by the ruling, of course.
The American Civil Liberties Union, as well as others, said that the law without the intent clause means that innocent people who happen to be found in the vicinity of drugs could face criminal charges.
Of course the court was gonna rule this way. We're the only state in the country that thought that it could go outside the bounds of our legal system.
Since Wednesday's federal ruling in Orlando, Miami-Dade Court Judge Milton Hirsch has released 103 people charged with drug possession on their own recognizance, or ROR, rather than on monetary bond, all because of this uncertainty.
I and every judge in this country is bound by that. Wouldn't you agree? ROR. The state's objection is duly noted.
Thank you very much.
All right, say no to drugs.
In several remarkable exchanges on Friday, Judge Hirsch verbally clashed with prosecutors over whether he was bound by state or federal rulings in this case.
The trial courts are bound by the Florida Supreme Court and the appellate courts, and not the decision that you're referencing.
You believe I'm not bound by the U.S. Constitution?
I believe we're bound by the Florida Supreme Court.
I thought we fought a war between 1861 and 1865 to clear that issue up.
We're bound by the Florida Supreme Court.
That's what your office says?
Yes.
Well, I don't know who your office is, but I encourage them to read the United States Constitution. It makes for interesting reading.
The ACLU, which filed a friend of the court brief in the federal case, had a similar reaction to the state attorney's argument.
This is what happens when the legislature pounds its chest and tries to be tough on crime, and they think they can be so tough on crime they can ignore constitutional principles.
Now, Judge Hirsch declined our request for an on-camera interview, saying through a spokeswoman he would be ruling on future cases and therefore could not comment outside the courtroom. A spokesman for State Attorney Catherine Fernandez-Rundle declined our on-camera interview request, but he stood by the argument that prosecutors are bound by Florida Supreme Court law, not by one local federal judge's ruling out of Orlando. As for Florida's Attorney General, she is expected to appeal this ruling to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals in Atlanta.
The U.S. Constitution does make for interesting reading.
Yes, it does.
103 people let go by one court in a couple of days.
In just a couple of days.
So we're talking about a lot of people affected here.
Thousands of people could be impacted, and this could go back to 2002. So if it is held that this is unconstitutional, there could be a lot of people thrown out, a lot of cases thrown out.
All right. Thanks, Stephen.
You bet.
The CBS 4 storm team is tracking the tropics tonight, and we are keeping our eye on much more than Tropical Storm Don. CBS 4 meteorologist Craig Setzer is in for Chief Meteorologist David Bernard. Tropics are active, Craig, and you've got something we all want to watch.
Yeah, very active. In fact, we typically don't get to our D tropical storm, or our fourth named storm, until the middle of August. So we're a little bit ahead of schedule here. We're about a month ahead of schedule. Don this evening is the 5 o'clock advisory, a 50-mile-an-hour weak tropical storm. That's the good news. Moving to the northwest at 16, will be coming on shore overnight tonight. And then dissipating. There's not a tremendous amount of rain with it. The rain swath is not going to be terribly wide, but any rain these folks get in south and central Texas, good news, because the severe drought continues there. Tropical storm warnings remain in effect for much of the central and south Gulf Coast of Texas there, and winds have been gusting up to about 36 miles an hour in Victoria, 29 in Galveston, 25 in Corpus Christi. The winds have been rather light in Brownsville. They'll probably pick up once the center passes on shore there, and stronger winds possible, but it will be weakening once it makes landfall. In terms of rainfall, we've had 1,800ths of an inch in Brownsville, 3,500ths in Victoria, so not terribly heavy amounts yet, especially at these sites, but the rainfall amounts should begin to increase as the system continues to move onshore. So here is Don, the rest of the Gulf quiet, the rest of the Caribbean quiet, the rest of the Atlantic quiet, with the exception of this tropical low that's out here. It has become a little bit better organized. Now the center's right in this area here, and what we're going to be watching for is thunderstorms to kind of consolidate and persist near that center as it moves to the west. The shear is forecast to increase over it in a few days, so conditions might become a little less favorable, but right now they're marginally favorable. There is some dry air to the north, and we're going to be watching this because the computer models show a general west-northwest motion over the next several days. Now, there's no indication if it's going to be just a wave, something stronger, or even if it's going to last, but because of this general motion forecast, we're going to need to keep our eyes on it. I'll have a look at that, plus our weekend forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Craig. And you can monitor the tropics at any time all weekend long by going to the tropics section of CBSMiami.com. Now to the ongoing debt debate in Washington, D.C. House Speaker John Boehner's plan for raising the debt ceiling is expected to be voted on in the next couple of hours. The leading Republican added a provision to his bill that would require Congress to approve a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution and send it to the states before any future increases in the debt limit. It's a provision he added to get more support from the Tea Party to assure the bill gets passed in tonight's vote. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid isn't waiting for Boehner's bill to clear a vote. He is instead moving ahead with his own plan. Boehner's bill isn't expected to pass the Senate, and Reid's isn't expected to pass the House. But only then will the two parties resume negotiations on a compromise. And with next week's deadline looming, Democratic officials are telling CBS News President Obama would agree to a 2-day extension of that deadline if it meant getting a compromise bill passed. Now, the uncertainty over the debt debate brought Wall Street its worst week in a year. The Dow was down 96 points today to close the week at 12,143. The Nasdaq lost 9 points to finish at 2756, and the S&P 500 was down 8 points to end the week at 1292. Whatever happens with the debt ceiling debate, it will not have an impact on the major road projects that are going on in South Florida. CBS 4 News spoke with Miami-Dade's Expressway Authority and with Broward Transit. They told us the big projects on I-595 and on 836 have already spent their federal stimulus dollars. And as you may remember, the Port of Miami Tunnel project is entirely funded locally and by the state. We've all heard what the politicians say will or won't happen to the American economy and to our own budgets should the debt ceiling not be raised. But what can you believe? CBS 4's Joan Murray spoke with an economist and a financial planner to better help you understand exactly what's at stake.
We don't know because we've never experienced this before.
That's the short answer to what happens if there's no debt deal in Washington. So we asked Barry University economics professor Stephen Morrell for a best and worst case scenario.
Tuesday gets here, no deal. The best case scenario is Social Security payments continue to be made. The government does not default per se on its debt. Even if it does, it comes out of this with some very fundamental changes in how the way government works in Washington. Credit rating would undoubtedly be slashed. It's just a question of how much. And that would in turn raise borrowing cost for some time in the future.
And what about you and I and our savings?
It may be the time to rebalance the 401k, taking a look at what's in there, and perhaps taking the opportunity if default happens and the stock market goes way down. And I think you can be reasonably certain that sooner or later the default will be reversed and the stock market will go back up. Maybe take that opportunity and buy some more equities when things are down.
We also asked financial advisor Ben Tobias what to do if you're looking at buying a car or home.
Interest rates right now are as low as they have been in virtually all of our lifetimes, so that's a reason to do it. You might find that if this default occurs, that borrowing may become a little bit harder to do. What I have been seeing is that people who are creditworthy are getting mortgages.
Beyond next Tuesday, what are the long-term implications of this crisis? No one is quite sure at this point, and no one is really optimistic. In Pembroke Pines, Joan Murray, CBS 4 News.
Look for much more on the ongoing debt debate tonight on the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley. That's next at 6:30. All new at 6 o'clock, a school bus driver and aide have been arrested for allegedly leaving a child behind on a bus for hours. We first told you about the story when it happened in May. CBS 4's Carrie Codd joins us now from Pembroke Pines with the charges. Carrie.
Antonio, you know, so many parents put their children on school buses each day, believing their kids will be safe. And in the majority of cases, of course, their children are safe. But this case will certainly make many parents wonder just how diligent school bus drivers and school bus aides really are. Bus driver Thomas Mobley and school bus aide Sarah Brown are each accused of child neglect. Police say the pair left a 6-year-old autistic boy on a school bus for 4 hours in May. The boy was supposed to get off at Dania Elementary, but apparently fell asleep. Police say they have surveillance video showing Mobley and Brown's actions once they returned the bus to the depot.
It shows when they arrive at the bus depot, Mobley and Brown exiting the bus without checking it.
The boy was found hours later still strapped in his seat without any air conditioning on. Fortunately, he was okay. His mother told us at the time she was furious.
It's just really annoyance at this point. I've gone from the distraught to where it really is annoying that people are so incompetent.
Bus drivers are supposed to put a flag on the back of the bus once it's been checked and cleared of students. It's not clear if Mobley or Brown followed that procedure. The bottom line, these two face criminal charges, accused of not protecting a boy who relied on them.
We entrust the safety of our children, particularly special needs children, to bus drivers, bus driver aides, and the law expects them to exercise diligence.
Now, neither Mobley nor Brown work for the school district any longer. They both resigned in June. Live in Pembroke Pines, Kerry Codd, CBS 4 News.
All right, thank you, Kerry. And breaking news out of Washington, D.C. Right now, the vote has begun on the floor of the House of Representatives on Speaker John Boehner's bill proposing a 6-month raise in the debt ceiling. We, of course, will bring you the latest on this vote and what's going on there in Washington as soon as anything is finalized. Caught on camera, it is not red light runners these cameras caught, but a crazy crash. What happened to the people involved? Just ahead. Let go. The Dolphins release a big name on their defense. What Channing Crowder told us right before he got the news. That's coming up in sports.
They have a type of cancer that's very curable, so why are so few patients getting the proper care? The results of a shocking new study, and the story is tonight on the CBS Evening News.
I'm not sleepy, I'm not grumpy, still dopey.
Christine's new sleeping pills make her a woman she can't stand.
You invited me on a girls' getaway weekend. Oh!
Next on Christine.
Tonight at 6:30, then at 7.
Barney tells how to love them and leave them.
6 words. You look fat in those jeans. You're free to go.
On the next How I Met Your Mother.
Tonight at 7 on our sister station, TV 33.
Hyundai's made a point to always shoot straight with people. And now we're asking everyday drivers to shoot straight with us about the Sonata, uncensored.
This would be like a really good road trip car. Ooh, road trip?
I'm 6'5". Look at the legroom.
Starts at $19,000. That is a good price.
I mean, it's comfortable, too.
Can we take out the Sonata again?
See for yourself. Test drive the 2012 Sonata today. You can lease one for just $199 a month.
Hyundai's the best, so forget the rest. All Hyundais are on sale now.
I think energy is a big part of my daily life.
What would new taxes on oil and natural gas mean to you?
I don't think a new tax on the energy industry is a good idea. That would give them less money to work on oil production. We should produce more oil and natural gas here at home. I think if we develop our own resources, we'll have better energy security. We want to stimulate the economy and produce more jobs, and maybe give the energy industry incentives to hire more people. I don't think putting an energy tax would be beneficial to my kids' future.
It's Bear's biggest clearance event ever. Going on now in Dade and Broward. Every item is drastically reduced. Save up to 70% on designer furniture. Bear's just keeps getting better. 65 years and growing.
It's the end of the model year, and Nissan is laying it all on the line. The Bottom Line sales event is back. Get the bottom line on our full line. Get a $179 lease on Altima or a $279 lease on Maxima. For more offers, visit ChooseNissan.com. Hurry into a dealer today. These savings won't last, and that's the bottom line.
New at 6, their numbers came up with police. 6 South Florida men have been busted for allegedly running an illegal lottery. BSO detectives say Rafael Cruz Toribio and 5 other men took bets based on winning numbers in the real lotteries in Florida, New York, and the Dominican Republic. Investigators say the men based their operation inside a Pompano Beach meat market and also ran gambling houses in Pompano Beach and Margate. Detectives found gambling slips, betting records, and money when they raided one of the gambling houses, the one in Margate. Police say they hauled in more than $21,000 in cash, and they're still counting. Miami Dolphins wide receiver Brandon Marshall will have one less thing to worry about now that training camp has started. Domestic violence charges against his wife were dropped today. The Broward State Attorney's Office tells CBS 4 News it just couldn't prosecute her because of conflicting stories they were told. Mishi Nogami Marshall was arrested in April following the incident that landed Brandon Marshall in the hospital with a stab wound. Now here's a look at the day's other headline makers. Fort Hood plotter, the AWOL soldier accused of planning to attack Fort Hood, appeared defiant in court today. Nasser Abdo yelled out the name of the Army officer who killed 13 people at Fort Hood 2 years ago. Ironically, Abdo had written an essay saying those murders were acts of aggression by a man and not by Islam. Norway massacre. The death toll has climbed to 77 as another person has died as a result of last week's twin terror attacks. Meanwhile, Norway's security service is set to issue a new evaluation of the threat posed by extremists. Pilot error. Air France's worst crash ever resulted from pilots being in a situation that, quote, they didn't understand. Flight 447 stalled and plunged into the Atlantic 2 years ago, killing the 228 on board. Investigators say the pilots didn't realize the plane had stalled because of ice crystals that had formed on speed sensors. A report says the pilots did not have enough training in flying manually. Crazy crash. A cargo van slammed into a Long Island bus. The intoxicated and speeding driver of the van T-boned the bus, which then careened through the wall of a McDonald's. The crash was captured by 3 red light cameras. Incredibly, nobody was seriously hurt. Scary pictures. Craig Setzer back with our busy weather.
Yeah, busy weather, busy in the tropics too. We're still tracking Don, maybe for about 24 more hours because Don is going to make landfall, come ashore tonight. 50-mile-an-hour weak tropical storm moving to the northwest at 16. The main thing from Don, which will be beneficial, will be the rainfall, though some strong wind gusts are possible, but Don not a terribly impressive tropical storm. Here's the satellite radar, and you can see most of the heavier storms are on the south side. Some of the heavier weather now is reaching the coast, but the stronger winds have actually been on the north side as it continues to move to the northwest, and some of these bands are rotating out away, so good news there, at least some rain falling in parched Texas and Louisiana, so at least maybe something coming good from Don. For us right now, we are looking at a warm evening, very warm, 90 at MIA, 87 in Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, 90 in Key West. Feels like 97 with a stickiness scale of 7.5. East wind at 13, gusting to 23. No rainfall here at CBS 4, but there is the possibility of some showers out there this evening. Here's a radar, and we've kind of tilted it sideways, so there's Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach County, Miami. We're looking off to Grand Bahama, and we're getting this little streamer. What happens is the land heats up of the island there, and then the moisture or the winds come together and it produces these little thunderstorms. So northern Broward County could see some passing showers through the night tonight. Everybody else should remain dry. Water vapor loop, there's the moisture from Don in the western Gulf. We've seen low rain chances thanks to some dry air that's come in, but in the coming days our overall moisture will go up, especially by Sunday, so an increasing chance for showers. Way out in the Atlantic, in the central Atlantic, we're watching this area of disturbed weather, a tropical low. Thunderstorms kind of flaring up. We're going to be watching for those thunderstorms to maybe consolidate near the center. A couple of things going against it, so I think it's going to take some time before this gets its act together. There's a tremendous amount of dry air to the north, and some of that may be worked into the system. So the system out here, this low pressure area, will have to kind of moisten up its own environment. Also, in the coming days, the wind shear is forecast to increase, but it's heading to the northwest, so we'll need to keep our eyes on it. Summer sun for us tomorrow, and an ocean breeze expected to continue going on into your Sunday. Not a whole lot of change. The weather remains quite nice. The winds maybe drop off a little bit on Sunday, although the risk of rip currents is going to stay up for the weekend. Sun and clouds on Sunday, a beach breeze, maybe a spotty shower by early next week. Pattern changes to a southwest wind direction, so hot and humid, and scattered storms around on Monday, and then mainly afternoon storms for Tuesday and Wednesday. Here's your forecast for tonight. Going to be a nice night, except for that chance for showers in northern Broward. Warm and humid, a coastal breeze with a low near 83, so very warm out there. Overnight lows not that low. Tomorrow, summer sun, ocean breeze continues. High temperature near 92 a day, almost just like today. Pollen count showing everything is low for boaters. Winds out of the east at 15, seas running 3 to 5 feet, and a little bit choppy on the bays. Highs in the 90s, lows in the 80s. A slight chance of a shower Sunday and next week. A little stormier, a little more settled, and of course we'll be watching the tropics.
All right, thanks, Craig. And coming up in sports, the Dolphins open camp and cut a big name from their roster. George Sedano has details next in sports.
Lauderdale BMW, a Holman family-owned dealership. Featuring certified pre-owned BMWs with 0.9% financing available. Lauderdale BMW, Fort Lauderdale and Pembroke Pines.
Adrenaline is a chemical that surges through the body in response to extreme excitement, increasing heart rate, dilating air passages, and triggering the will to win. Feel the rush. Dolphins football 2011. Live it here. Tickets on sale now.
Don't miss the Maruni Toyota Hail Sale. 600 hail-damaged Toyotas have already been sold. 200 hail-damaged Toyotas must go. Maruni Toyota is using insurance money to sell brand new 2011 Toyotas up to 40% off MSRP. Corollas from $12,500. Even get 0% APR on hail-damaged Tundras, Siennas, and more. Hurry! The up to 40% off hail-damage sale ends July 31st at Maruni Toyota of Weston.
6 days are gone. Just 4 remain. This Monday, August 1st, the amazing Rooms to Go summer sale will end. And remember, this sale is all about low prices. Piece after piece, room after room. All at unbeatable prices you have to see to believe. Save on Cindy Crawford Home, Ultimate TV packages, and rock bottom clearance items. Plus finance interest-free until January 2014. But just 4 days remain, so hurry to the Rooms to Go summer sale before it ends at 9 p.m. Monday.
The sights of summer. Don't blink. They go fast. Summer's best event from Cadillac. This summer, you do have a choice. And the time is now.
Tonight's primetime lineup is brought to you in HD by BrandSmart USA, celebrating our newest store now open, located directly across from the Dadeland Mall.
Lauderdale BMW, a Holman family-owned dealership. Featuring a new BMW 328i for $329 per month. Lauderdale BMW, Fort Lauderdale and Pembroke Pines.
These are live pictures from the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C., where Speaker John Boehner's bill to raise the debt ceiling has passed by a minuscule margin. Not one Democrat voted for it, and the Democrats in the Senate have already said they will not pass it. We'll have more on the CBS Evening News in just a few minutes. But now we go to George Sedano, who is live at Dolphins camp in Davie. George.
Antonio, the first day of training camp went out without a hitch, except if your name is Channing Crowder. He was cut by the Dolphins today. He becomes a salary cap casualty, and it looks like earlier today he might have predicted his own demise.
Yeah, man, it's wild, man. We were going to the little pass scale today and just not seeing Ronnie. You know, me and Ronnie came in together. We best friends, so it's tough, but it's part of the NFL. You know, Dolphins will cut me one day, to be honest, you know what I'm saying?
Another guy on the hot seat is quarterback Chad Henne. Henne was benched late last year and seemed to have fallen out of favor with the team, so much so that the team began trade talks for Denver quarterback Kyle Orton. That's still up in the air with contradicting reports all over the place, but Miami did add Carolina quarterback Matt Moore. So now the question is Chad Henne worried about his starting job?
There's always pressure out there. I mean, I think, you know, as a quarterback and myself, I put more pressure on myself than anything. So pressure out there, you know, the stands, the fans, the coaches, whatever goes on, for me, I can't pay attention to that. I put more pressure on myself to perform at a high level rather than somebody else doing that for me.
The Dolphins did add some firepower on offense. Running back Reggie Bush comes to Miami on a 2-year deal. The former Heisman Trophy winner looks to resurrect a career hampered by injuries. So Reggie moves on from Kim Kardashian and the New Orleans Saints in search of a new beginning.
I wear my heart on my sleeve, you know, so I'm one of those guys who always feels like he has something to prove year in and year out, and but more so now coming to a new organization and getting an opportunity to be that featured back. I feel like, you know, there's an even bigger chip on my shoulder.
We'll have more at 11 from Dolphins training camp. Live from Dolphins training facility here in Davie, I'm George Sedano. More CBS 4 News coming up in just a moment.
Next Insider, the summer's biggest scandals. Then, exclusive, behind the scenes as Ice-T and Coco renew their vows. And Harrison Ford's backstory. Next Insider.
Tonight at 7:30 on CBS 4.
In the operating room, there's nothing Dr. Michael Holt can't do. Gotcha. Now he'll experience a mystery.
Anna?
Michael?
Even he can't explain.
Anna Paul, please.
Dr. Paul passed away 2 weeks ago.
Anna?
Michael?
We can't just chat.
Why not?
I don't know what you are.
I thought you were talking to me.
Are you here?
A Gifted Man. Fridays this fall, only CBS.
No money down, zero security deposit. Ultima's only $169 a month. Now that's the bottom line. It's Weston Nissan's bottom line sales event happening now. Maxima's $269 a month. Ultima's $169 a month with no down payment. We've got the lowest deals on every car, truck, or SUV only at Weston Nissan off I-75 at Griffin Road, or visit us online at westonnissan.com. Maxima's $269. Ultima's $169 a month with no down payment.
A message from Mr. Monopoly.
Hello! I'm so excited that the Florida Lottery wants me to give away part of my vast fortune for their Monopoly scratch-off games. In fact, I've installed this bell behind me to alert me when there's a winner. Oh, there's a winner right now! And another one! Charlie, can you check to make sure the winner bell is working properly?
Win prizes up to $3 million with a second chance to win $10,000 and more.
Is this the most popular scratch-off in Florida?
We're KFC, cooking up great meals for you, like our 7-piece double mashed value meal, now just $9.99. 7 of the Colonel's classic drumsticks and thighs, 2 large mashed potatoes with gravy, and 3 biscuits, freshly prepared by a cook in every KFC kitchen. Choose one of our famous recipes, original, extra crispy, Kentucky grilled, or mix all 3. The 7-piece double mashed value meal, just $9.99 for a limited time. Every day's a KFC day, and today tastes so good.
Kendall Toyota and West Kendall Toyota want to give you $1,000. That's right. Get a new Corolla or Camry and we'll give you $1,000 back. And right now at Kendall Toyota or West Kendall Toyota, you can drive away in a new Camry with zero down, zero APR financing, or zero payments till 2012. And we have the biggest selection of new cars and trucks in all Florida. Right now, get a back-to-school gift certificate just for taking a test drive. Get $1,000 back at the capital of Toyota, Kendall Toyota and West Kendall Toyota.
New government standards for U.S. automakers. How they could change the way your next car is made and save you money at the pump. Tonight on the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley. Right after CBS 4 News, so stay with us.
Remember, you can tell us what you think about the news of the day or something going on in your community. Connect to CBS 4 on Facebook, Twitter, and at cbsmiami.com. Finally, something extra. What if Britain celebrated a royal wedding and almost nobody knew about it? The irony is that this one seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. Queen Elizabeth's granddaughter, Zara Phillips, is 12th in line to the throne, and she's getting married tomorrow to Mike Tyndall, one of England's rugby stars. He's had his nose broken so many times, he looks a bit like Harry Potter's nemesis, Voldemort. Phillips is known as one of the most down-to-earth royals. Her mom, Princess Anne, even decided her daughter should not have a royal title. Phillips is one of Britain's top equestrians, but her fiance says she is so great he would marry her if she worked at a supermarket checkout counter. The low-key wedding will be in Edinburgh. It will have some pomp. The reception will be held at the Palace of Holyrood House, the Queen's official residence in Scotland. And what's with these Brits? Like Will and Kate, there's no immediate honeymoon. Tyndall has to be back practicing with England's rugby team on Sunday. Talk about a wedding hangover. That's our news for now. Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is up next. For more news, go to cbsmiami.com or listen to our radio partner, News Radio 610 WIOD, and look for all the day's headlines tonight at 11. Have a great evening and a great weekend.
Tonight.